Hi, I believe I'm now live. How nerve-wracking. So this is the second time I'm going live because I did my little taster introduction about what I'll be doing today. So I look forward to sharing with you my session on holistic health. So my name is Sarah Paine and I am co-founder of Inspirative Arts, a non-for-profit organisation that offers therapeutic arts to promote wellbeing and holistic health. So they're all about that emotional wellbeing particularly. This is all about Wellbeing Week and fantastic as it's been. Casting Rainbows have done a fantastic job, so thank you, Marie. And we're doing so well in raising money for Rainbows Hospice for children and young people. So keep going with that, and hopefully we can get some more donations coming in today. I'll keep an eye out to see if anyone joins me live, but I do realise it is Sunday morning at 10, so my expectation is that I may be on my own on this and I'll just be sharing with you. I'm used to doing training in the context of facilitating people in person and bouncing off the people that are with me. However, I've got to try and somehow bounce off myself, and maybe if you're interactive, that would be fantastic. I may be able to do a bit of that virtually. Who knows? Exciting times. So, a little introduction about what I feel an opportunity to reflect on your health in this time, at this point. So if you've got anything else going around you, try and reduce that and have an opportunity to create the capacity, the space for yourself to go on a journey with me to explore your health and holistically. And we'll explore what does holistically mean in a minute. So what I aim to do is, if we took Jahara's window, for example, I would love to help people move information that is unknown to them and make it known to them. They might choose to share it with others, or they might choose to actually keep that private because it's something they've come to realise themselves, and that's something they want to not necessarily share, and that's okay. And that's the case in this session. So if there's things you want to share that you realise, absolutely fantastic, please do share, because that's always fun to hear that I've helped someone raise their awareness to something that they weren't aware before. And just remembering, actually, I think, and I know you are the expert, so this is about me trying to facilitate you gaining awareness of things that are actually there within you, but you may have just not had time to stop and think or reflect or ask those questions that entice it out. So let's hope that I can do some of that today in this session. So if you haven't come across this model before, it is very interesting, and it helps us also become aware of, maybe helps us be more open-minded, going, actually we don't know everything, there is a lot of unknown to us, and so let's be curious here in this session. I'm not the fountain of all knowledge. I'm literally just sharing little nuggets. I'm sharing more of a breadth of holistic health, going a little bit more aspect into diet, just because I feel that does have the biggest ripple effect onto a lot of other areas of life, and I'll be obviously sharing from my experience. So it is really important to kind of acknowledge that and know that you can become that expert of your health and really take ownership, and hopefully this will be an empowering journey for you to take ownership. Come on. Okay, so anyway, great model, and I might make reference to that later as well. I have got little prompt cards, so if I do look down, that is what I'm looking at, just to be completely open and honest with you. I'm also hoping that yes, you will challenge maybe some of your beliefs, because we do have a lot of beliefs and they can be limiting, they can stop us from growing, and so by challenging them, actually we have the opportunity for growth. So let's see if we can kind of open our minds and be open to challenging our current beliefs, and let's see if we can... Oh, So that was just a call from Marie. I'm not sure if that call recorded or not, because obviously doing this live and no idea. So I hope you enjoy the conversation or not enjoy the conversation, depending if that got caught live. So yeah, this is hopefully I can inspire you to think of some of the things you might want to change in your life, just to raise the bar. If you feel like you're healthy, how could you be healthier? And that's not just physical, not just what you eat, that's in many areas, and we'll have a look at that. So the reason why I've suggested holistic is because it's, we are made up of lots of things that like mind, body, soul, that all have this, it's intertwined. So let's hope I can inspire some change in some area, whatever that might be. If something comes up that I've mentioned and you're like, oh, what's that? Oh, shall we briefly touch on it? Because a lot of things I will only very briefly touch on. Please do take the opportunity, write down the phrase or whatever it is and research it. Be the researcher for yourself. Go on the journey, because the learning journey is fantastic. And I've got the brilliant opportunity to be in this role of sharing with you, because it's created a journey for me where I've relearned some of the things that I've learned historically. So I'm thankful for this opportunity and for you being here with me. So let's warm up a little bit by taking 3 deep breaths, and this is to wake up the brain. You can probably hear my nerves. Shake out the body. This is ready to start something new. We're going to hopefully transition into a learning, and we want to kind of shake off all the other stuff, like last night's dreams. We're doing so. I'm shaking off those last night's dreams or whatever's happened in the day. Let's just shake that off, because our body does store memories. So by having a bit of a shake, hopefully that will help us out. And then with the opposite hand, just caress your ears. I look really weird doing this. Caress your ears, just to let your ears know you want to be listening and you want to take in some of this information. So it's just really good to help then your ears become more stimulated and ready to go. And you can even do some weird, oh my God, I look weird, don't I? Mouth movements. It says something, tap on chat heads to see new messenger. Oh, okay, well, I might have to leave that for now. And so your mouths are ready to engage. So if you have joined me, then you can obviously have the opportunity to say something. It's probably typing, but anyway, we've got our mouths ready. And then our eyes, because we're watching the screen. So a bit of eye exercises, looking up, down and all around. That might give us a good start to this session. So I said we're going to look at what is holistic health. So what is it to you? Okay, so this is what is holistic health to you. So for me, I looked and got some inspiration. I wanted this talk to be quite visual, so I printed off some things to refer to. So, we could look at the bigger picture of the body, mind, spirit, but we can also consider other things. And like I said, everything does overlap, and there is kind of it overlaps and has a ripple effect. So one area will affect others. So our mental health, our physical, our spiritual, our emotional and our social. You can also see it a little bit like this, where you've got the core spirit, body, mind, and actually we've got purpose that we want in our lives, we've got relationships that we are part of, rest that we need, we want to work on our personality. Who am I? What do I like? What do I want to be? Movement, am I getting out enough, moving around enough? And our diet, obviously, that's a big one for me that I want to share. And I like the fact that it comes up twice, emotional, because I really think, it could be because of my line of work historically, but that is really important, that we have got emotional well-being. Now I'm just going to holler to my partner Dave. Dave? Yeah. Marie is worried that this isn't actually going live. Do you want to just check on Casting Rainbows and see if I'm there? Because otherwise I might have to stop this and start again. So on Casting Rainbows on Facebook. And then there's the intellect. And I personally think that's also a big thing. I really wanted to create a list of books that have really informed and helped me develop, but I just didn't get time in the end. There's so much to share and so much to crack on with. There's the spirit, occupation, what we want to do in our lives, what do we want to contribute to this world, and what do we want to gain. Environment, how do we be in tune with this place that we're living in, social, physical. So yeah, and all these areas have so much more involved, isn't there? And I just something keeps popping up. I'm just going to check. I've just had confirmation that I am live by Marie, so that's good to know. Thank you, Marie. She's doing a great job with this whole event. So yeah, there's lots to consider, and there was something I was thinking about in terms of that holistic health, in terms of the internal world that we have and the external around us, and what we choose to listen to out there, what we choose to listen to in here, what we look out for, and when do we stop and reflect? What do we give ourselves that time? Is it important? If it's not, why not? If it is, why are we not making time for it? What's our internal and external stresses? What's causing an imbalance or tension in our lives? So this is trying to create, this holistic, this overall thinking about us as all the beings. There's so much, and obviously I'm only scratching the surface on a lot of things. And like I said before, what are your belief systems? What things are holding you back or helping you aspire to move on, to move forward? Do you choose what you listen to, or do you just get bombarded with stuff? Do you allow the world just to input on you, or do you actually say, I'm going to select, I'm going to quiet that down, and I'm going to raise that volume up here because that's what I want to tune into? So, and I say this because it all does have an impact on our health. The two most powerful questions I want you to kind of ponder on throughout all of this, and I might even be posing them through it, is what if? And how would life look if that changed? How would it look? How would it be different? I think there are two quite powerful questions to pose, and hopefully we'll be using them as well throughout. So, moving on. I've now got a cup. It's an empty cup. So if it's empty and I'm thirsty, then what am I filling up in my cup that's going to help resource me, give me energy to move forward? So there's some literal things, like I could eat healthy food. That could really help resource me. I know I can't drink that, but you kind of get, it's obviously symbolic. Sleep, I know I need sleep to create the capacity for other things. So I need to have sleep. Reflect and plan, the opportunity to stop, think about life and plan forward. And those plans might be, you might plan a week ahead, your day ahead, your year, your month. And actually sometimes it's good to do long term, short term, and obviously depending on, if it's short term you might do it more often, long term you'll do it now and then. Yeah, so up to you on that. And then what am I filling my cup up with that's educating me? What am I putting in here? Is it negative, positive? Is it useful? Is it serving me? Good questions to ask oneself. Do I do things like meditation, yoga? If not, have I got a means or a way of improving my breathing, ensuring that I'm really getting down to the core of my breath, to really get that oxygen moving around my body. And do I have a growth mindset? As in, do I want to keep aspiring to improve either something, my mind, my body, my spirit, my purpose, my diet, my movement, my personality, to improve my rest, and my relationships? Yeah. So some of the things we were looking at when we were considering holistic health. So as I fill my cup up, now I feel like I've got something that can resource me if I'm thirsty. If I'm thirsty, I need a drink. So it's that kind of what will fill up my cup and create the cup of capacity, or is it an empty bucket? I don't know. There's probably conflicting things there, but I thought of them both. I think it's because I had two analogies in my head going on. But yeah, just creating that capacity. If you bombard yourself with stuff, you've perhaps not got the capacity to then give to something that it is really important to you. And obviously we can't drink from an empty cup, so hopefully we'll remember those things. Part of that is also, what is your baseline? When I say that, it means what's your normal, your usual. So if someone said to me like, I'm trying to think of an example now. Okay, can't think of one on the spot, but you need to know what's normal for you, because what's normal for you may not be for someone else, and therefore it's really hard to know whether something has escalated and got worse for yourself, or so it's hard to know whether you can prevent or improve something if you don't know what your baseline is, if you can make improvements or not. So hopefully that makes sense. I feel like that's a bit vague, but maybe as I go through that might become more clear. So our baseline is just knowing ourselves well enough to know the signs and symptoms of, oh, I need to do something about that. That's clearly a sign to do something, because my body's not happy, my spirit's not happy, I'm not in an emotionally good place. Okay, so now we're going to move on to mindset. So mindset is about kind of helping yourself. Like, how do you become the expert of yourself? And what will help with that is that baseline, that kind of knowing yourself, exploring who you are as a person. And we do that throughout our life. It's just an ongoing journey, which is nice. But we want to ensure that you are empowering yourself to kind of explore the knowledge. Like I said, do research if something comes up that you want to know more about. And trial and error. Sometimes it's about doing it, exploring it, finding it out for yourself. And just remaining open-minded and curious. So life is a bit ambivalent, especially at this time. There's a lot of uncertainties, and so that can really kind of have an impact on our health. So we want to be able to build the confidence to acknowledge that, notice it, name it, and be able to kind of work with it and not hide from it, suppress it, and then it kind of becomes something really quite difficult and nasty and comes out in all sorts of ways. So let's think like finding your why and what's important to you. So I've got a wheel of life, and we've got here things like you can reflect and stuff, think about kind of your family, your community, your leisure activities, what developments you want, your health, the money you want to be making, kind of savings or objectives or income, your career, and people. So that's all about kind of life is a journey. It's not meant to be lonely, so we want to be able to be with people on it, and I'll talk in a minute about who do we invite on our journey of life at what time, because it's about enjoying, this is meant to be fun, and enjoying this this session and what comes thereafter. So give yourself opportunity. One area, you want to look at one area and then another one another time. And I believe in like seasons and something arising and then going, okay, this is something I need to look at, invest my time in, invest my money in, invest whatever it needs to develop that particular area. So there's a little analogy I want to use now in relation to kind of so we talked about my mindset prior to so what professionals could help. Well, when I think about this, I like to use this heart analogy. Okay, so for example, this is something I've used with Inspirative Arts, American Inspirative Arts, where I've done workshops asking people if this heart was our emotional heart, so it represents our emotional heart, what sort of things might damage our heart throughout our life? What sort of things might damage our heart throughout our lives? So I'm going to give some ideas, and I'm hoping this is live, but I've not had anything come up feed-wise, so I don't know, but I don't think anyone's joined me as of yet. We'll see. So some ideas that I've come up with is loss of a loved one. So we may experience the loss of a loved one. We may experience being bullied, various degrees, but we may experience being bullied. We may have embarrassing moments that really can be quite traumatic or difficult or hurt us in some way or stuck with us. A breakup. Some breakups, I'd say, some are worse than others, but they can all have an impact. Abuse, physical, emotional, mental, that can be very difficult on our emotional heart. We may experience injury, physical injury, maybe other injuries that you can think of. We may need surgery at some point in our life, and that can be very traumatic. We may feel rejected. We may have an accident, car accident, for example. We may have an easy accident when we're very young. We might have wet the bed or something that might have been actually traumatic and stayed with us. We might have accidentally done something that was really difficult. So I now have this broken emotional heart. So if I was to think of that heart now, as a physical heart, and it needs some surgery because it's completely broken, and it needs some healing. It's completely compartmentalised. Who would I ask to do heart surgery on me? Would I ask someone who wasn't qualified, someone who maybe I'm close to, so, I'm really close to my mum, my dad, my brothers, my sisters, so I'll ask them. How would they feel about doing heart surgery when they have no qualification, not able to do it, wouldn't know where to start, struggle to hold you physically, emotionally? So if that's the case for your physical heart, why could it not be the case for your emotional heart? So why would we just ask and entrust anyone and everyone, or, don't know what situation, or allow our emotions to get so broken or so disattached that we have outbursts in inappropriate places with inappropriate people, at really making us even more vulnerable, even more exposed, and even more traumatised? It's a really big ripple effect, really escalating situation, when actually if we saw some professional, so when I say that, someone who has given and dedicated their life to know more about how to hold and support you through your emotional journey, like arts therapists, like you do get in Inspirative Arts, or there's loads of different therapists, absolutely loads. And being in the world of therapeutic services and health and social care, I am really aware of this, but I'm aware that not everyone else is. So if that's something you want to chat to me about, as in who might help you if you're experiencing difficulty, then please do have a chat with me. But the main message here is with any aspect of your life. My brother Simon, who does pose running, did a talk earlier, and one of the key messages is, I know you think running comes naturally, but actually how many people do you know get injured from running? So actually we've made something very unnatural, something very natural historically, but unnatural because our bodies maybe not used to wearing trainers and running on concrete rather than, through forests after away from a line, for example. I'm thinking very long time ago. I don't know when that happened. I'm thinking caveman, but I'm not sure about that example. But anyway, so the principle is getting the right person to help you on the journey if that's something you need to work on. Acknowledging that there are things that you've gone through that we constantly need to process and help ourselves work through. So whilst we do love to stay in our little comfort zone, it's not where our learning happens. So challenging our beliefs and our mindset, we can enjoy that journey still. Becoming more aware, I know it might open up a whole bag of things in our lives, like, oh my goodness, start looking into this and this and that. But actually, by working on it a little bit by little bit with the people that can really help us that know their stuff, and go on that journey. And that will certainly help improve, whether it's your diet, your running, your emotional well-being. I'm talking holistic. I'm trying to share some things that can be applied to lots of areas of our lives here. So, I was thinking of looking at my notes and checking that I haven't missed anything, and asking yourself that kind of what can you do, and who can you help, who can help you on your journey as we go through this life. And perhaps we want to challenge some negative thoughts by using positive affirmations. If you've not heard of those, it's acknowledging that you might have, so for example, I have negative belief that I haven't got anything worthy to share, and that's something I've been working on. So my positive affirmation is, I've got something valuable to share. I am worthy of being listened to. And I have worked on that the last few months, and I think that's why I'm doing this talk now. If I hadn't, I might not be here doing this talk for you today. So that's really, they can be life-changing. And it's kind of make yourself aware that you have that option, that opportunity to make those changes. So if you are struggling with something, either ask the right person or have the opportunity to reflect and think for yourself, what's going on? What if I did something different? What would life look like? So little things that we can think about when we think about our mindset change. We might go, well, okay, let's go to diet, for example. I need to change where I've got loads of symptoms, loads of difficulties. The one thing I keep doing is buying things that are really not helping me. So as in, they're not serving my body, they're actually making me feel lethargic and unwell. Something like sugary goods, treats. Well, what if we saw treats as something that also is healthy as well as tasty? What if we, for example, Mr. Poppy, he has chocolate that uses yacon instead of cane sugar, and that's actually it's actually a really good source of I can't remember the terminology, it's gone out of my head because I've not not thought about it in this context, but I'll get to it. But yeah, so there's a healthier chocolate, for example, and if you had that in instead of the unhealthy chocolate, that might be a small change that really makes a big difference for you. So I know I keep going little tangents, hopefully you bear with me and this is all making sense, but like I say, if something comes up, just kind of note it down and explore it further. So I want to now think about mindset, and what if we kind of focused on kind of loving ourselves, our bodies, and what is best for ourselves, and ensuring that we exercise our hearts. So I hear a lot about people wanting to lose weight or look a certain way, when actually I've been able to be consistently healthy, and I reflected on why do I think that is, and I think it's because I actually challenged myself to do things like CrossFit, which I thought would never be me because I couldn't even lift the bar, empty bar, I couldn't even lift that. But I wanted to do it because I really wanted something that would strengthen my heart. I felt like I wasn't able to do something that really got my heart going. So that's why I got into it, which is maybe a bit different reasoning. So really check in with your reasoning. Is it something that you're focusing on the positive, what do you want to achieve, and the health goals, rather than what you're trying to move away from? Because if we focus on what we move away from, actually we end up going towards it because we're focusing on it. So try and focus on where you want to be moving to. So that's a little bit of my mindset. And then when we think about our time to reflect, so I've got here, you might want to do like a little visual map of your life. You know how I said you might plan like lots in advance, like many years in advance and short term, etc. Well, you might also just do a big picture, like where am I now, what's been, what do I want to come, where's that goal, and having the opportunity to really acknowledge a lot of things. Like this one really acknowledges a lot of things here, like life goals, undertakings, and I like the way it has like bay of awareness, connections, insightful encounters. So I might use this resource in the session and say, where do I feel I am on the map? Where do I want to go? What area do I need to visit? So actually, you can use them in lots of different ways. You can create a map that is about your life, or you can use maps like this that help you reflect on thinking, where am I in my life? And where do I want to be? Where do I want to go on that journey? So I do love life maps, and these sort of workshops are the things that I have done or do at Inspirative Arts. I think it's a really great time to reflect, think and stop for a minute, know your direction, and where you want to be going, and embrace the seasons of life, because things come and go. So when I think of using the self-regulation theory, for example, looking at time and I've really got a whiz on, when I think about identity, what is my current health like? So that's a question so I'm going through a process here to try and get you to think about your holistic health. So identify, what is my current health like? Cause, what has contributed to my current health state? So what's been good, what's been bad, indifferent. Timeline, how long has my health been like this? Has it changed recently? Could it change again? Consequences, if I continue to do what I do, how would my health look in the future? That could be a really big wake-up call to some people. And treatment, what have I considered to help improve my health? Have I just looked at what's free, what the NHS can offer? Or have I actually looked at alternatives that may require financial investment or less time or more time? But have I actually explored lots of things to know which one is the best one for me? So I really challenge to use that tool, the self-regulation theory, to help guide you on some of your reflections. So when I think about my health, so I'm going a little bit more into the health and diet now, I've really struggled with a lot of things, and I'm being really open and honest with you here, doing it live. So some of the stuff that I've dealt with in the past, some things are really sensitive, like thrush, athlete's foot, not particularly like nice things, but I've had these in the past. I've really struggled with cramp in my toes and my calf, stomach cramps, bloating, runny nose, foggy. I always put the foggy brain to my dyslexia, but actually through my exploration of different diets, I've found that can be so much worse or so much better. So dried, sensitive skin, prone to infection, easily run down, low energy or broken night's sleep, I'm so thankful that these are not things that I deal with now, but you know, sometimes they rise, and I know now what to do, and hopefully I'll have time to keep going and share that with you. So we will be thinking, you know, like I acknowledged earlier, the internal, the external, and the ripple effect. So it's just a reminder of, you know, our holistic selves and what all the things. So when I think of all the things, I'm going to get something out here that you're like, oh my goodness, you didn't just go there. Poo! So yeah, choose your poo. Right, are you someone that has rabbit droppings, or bunch of grapes, or corn on the cob, or sausage, chicken nuggets, porridge, or gravy? Beautiful. So I've put smiley face or not so smiley, depending on the poo that you need to be aiming for. I think it's massive. Our stools tell us a lot. On a serious note, it does tell us a lot, but on a playful note, because I mean, this chart says for children, what, you know, we learn best through play. So for me, it's not just for children, adults, any age, we all learn best through play. So be playful with this. I'm very open with pretty much everyone and anyone about where I don't have any shame around my stools. But yes, I appreciate not everyone wants to share that. That might be something in the hidden, and that's okay if you want to keep it hidden. And maybe I'll hide it just so I don't embarrass lots of others. So it's a really useful chart, and I would use that as a way of help you indicate, you know, when I was talking about that baseline, okay, so this is what they're normally like. Is this something unusual? Is it something actually I could challenge? Could this improve? Why do I allow myself to either be constipated or diarrhea, something on either scale? So when I think about kind of things to look for, I think like tension. Do I feel like a whole tension in my shoulders, in my face? Do I deep breathe or do I shallow breathe? Because I need to be deep breathing. Do I crunch my face up? And a really good technique to know is when you're about to fall asleep and you acknowledge every bit of your face and allow it to kind of just relax. I personally had to stop using anything perfumed on my skin. I use, I now use Arbonne products because they're the best for my skin, because they're completely botanical, so plant-based. And are your nails indicating something? Are they weak? Are they indicating that something's not quite right with your health? So, like I said earlier, there is, I emphasise play on this holistic health chart because unlike the other health charts, it didn't acknowledge that, but I think that's a big part. And I've just mentioned how important it is to be playful, even in our learning journey and our exploration. I like to lead groups in a play space for adults as part of being trained in developmental transformation, something I'll hopefully have time to mention. But I recognise that I need to keep going. So what's helped me in my journey? Well, like I shared on my little overview, I've done the kinesiology, I've gone to a kinesiologist, who raised my awareness about my candida at the time. I've done body talks and Reiki with an amazing professional, Angie, and she's helped massively raise my awareness. A lot of this has moved because of the professionals I've saw. I've gone to see nutritionist Lucy Kay, who has been on this whole Wellbeing event. Absolutely fantastic. I wasn't able to have many sessions before needing to give birth, but the few that I did made a massive impact. She really helped me on my diet, having FODMAPs and the ketogenic diet. And I've used play and dance a lot, DVT, biodancer, playback, something I'll mention again later. So all these things have really helped shift a lot of unknown to the known for me and explore many things, and especially realising the impact of diet and how that's impacted me in my emotions, my mental state, my physical state. So that's what I think, that's why I do believe you are what you eat. So what I really learnt from all of those diets is actually I was looking for what was sustainable, what could I continue doing, what isn't, like, I'm not doing it for weight loss, as you can tell, but even if you are, you can, but it's not about weight loss, it's about being healthy, and that's the mindset I'm going to be pushing. Not about losing weight, it's about being healthy, so what helps me reach that goal. And I love the fact that Arbonne pushes that same mindset about being healthy inside and out, and what you put in you comes out and helps you glow. And that's why I found Arbonne's 30 Days to Healthy Living the easiest, the best way, the best one for me. And part of the reason is because I absolutely love the education they provide, but the examples they give as well. So I was going to do a smoothie, but I knew I wouldn't have time, and I was right. So they give you basic principles of a smoothie, and then some amazing options of making very healthy, tasty smoothies. So I've really been able to do now, me and my partner have a smoothie every morning, filled with pre and probiotics, filled with great greens and healthy fats. So yeah, it's a really positive growth for me. And they've not gone on my Arbonne journey. I also am reflecting on my module when I did type 2 diabetes, where I found that the NHS was kind of, you know, you might have seen these food charts, and I challenged these food charts myself. I personally, this isn't my plate. This is not what works for me, and I think it's probably not working for a lot of people, because we probably wouldn't have such an epidemic of well, there's a lot of contribution, there's a lot, it's not obviously about just the plate, not everyone's following the plate, so it's not just that, but there has been a lot of challenges around mainly how much carbs do you really need, and this is what I found to be the best plate of food that I go for. So I'm looking at half a plate of veg, quarter protein, and that much of carbs, completely different. But if the NHS then recommend that if you've got type 2 diabetes, you should definitely reduce the amount of carbs, it makes you think maybe we should be a bit more proactive and not have that many if it's having such an effect. And the effect that it's having is, it talks about not making your pancreas that releases the insulin needed to break down the glucose to go in your cells to use and burn as energy. So if you keep spiking that with lots of sugar and, you know, releasing lots of insulin, and this is where we come with glycemic index, then you're going to get insulin resistance, and you're going to have health issues associated with type 2 diabetes. So it's really important that we do eat well, so that we can, you know, and you might use charts like these to help, again, become more aware. It's just about becoming more aware of what might be triggering or not serving you and helping you with your diet. If you're eating a lot of the reds, that could be why you get sugar highs and big crashes and struggle to, you know, get really lethargic and struggle to maintain your energy throughout the day. So I'm aware that I need to kind of consider wrapping up. And I think the things that I want to kind of share and do as a like takeaway is I really promote the things that have come into my life. I really want to share the things that have helped me. So I have, because I'm quite embodied in my learning, things like biodanza and developmental transformations, they've been really important for me to be able to be more in touch with my body. And to really connect with all aspects of myself, if I think of myself holistically. My journey with Inspirative Arts, in terms of delivering, you know, therapeutic arts, I've really found the value of using the arts, using resources, making things visual for people and going on a journey with them to improve your emotional development. Obviously, and then playback. That's a form where you actually see moments played back to you. So I've been the performer as well as the person sharing those moments and seeing it play back, and that helps realise and see a different perspective. Really helps that question with what would life look like, or what if I did something different. And then I still receive chiropractic care, and if I didn't go to my chiropractic, I would still not be able to walk long distance or run at all, and I run now every week. So I'm massively thankful because that made a massive impact on lots of areas as well, not just my physical health. So they've been part of my journey of health, and I now buy a lot of things because I don't always have time to ferment and make my own kombucha. So I go to Practice Probiotics. That's local to Derby, but I don't know if they might deliver further afield. Also locally is the Fig in Derby, and they also do alternative and holistic remedies, and they're fantastic. And they also top up things like shampoo and whatever, so you can reuse your bottles. So I think that's great for the environment as well as everything else. And then sound bites, you can get my organic whole foods delivered. And sometimes when time is short, and when I really think about what's important to put on my skin as the biggest organ, Arbonne have been a massive saviour for me, because now I don't have issues putting makeup on or anything, because they've been able to provide quality products, some of which I have got out but I won't have time to go through, which is such a shame, because they have, well, maybe quickly, but like I said before, especially if you've ever had antibiotics, please do take pre and probiotics, because you absolutely need them. But I have them daily. And there's something I want to say. I recently found out that D3 is absolutely fantastic, and you can find that in these products as well, better than D2. And if you are struggling to get all your greens in, especially because we are living in a world where we only get 5 to 40% less nutrients than we did in 1950. So we do need to top up and have our nutrition to have a nutritionally dense diet. This is where I get my prebiotics for my Digestion Plus. So I've researched a lot about them. Happy to chat to anyone who wants to explore a bit more about how the 30 Days Healthy Living can help them. And just to aim on a bit of a disclaimer, really. So what I'm not suggesting is not undermining the NHS, their great work, but there are alternatives to your health. I found diet to actually change a lot of the issues I had. I didn't need any medication whatsoever. I actually found that I was able to also break the cycle where it created more issues than it did in helping me. It's about, I'm not saying you need to stick to a strict diet. Find out what works for you, your lifestyle. You need to ask yourself sort of key questions that help you explore that. I'm not suggesting that I'm the expert in all of this. I am in some areas. I am. I'm about to complete my Masters in Health Social Care. I've learned a lot on my journey of being creative, expressive therapies. So I have got expertise, and I'm happy to talk to people. But to end, I would like to advocate that we learn through play. So if you find a way to be playful, please do. Work on your belief systems, focus on your health and not what you're trying to avoid, so that you moved in the right direction. Be compassionate with yourself. So don't beat yourself up if you're not always doing what your main goal was. Just take your time with it. Things will come and go. Get back if you struggle one day, get back on it the next. And just keep your diet balanced, varied. Look into permaculture, fantastic. Permaculture, would love to, that's my next, would love to learn more and put that into my practice. And listen to your body, be an expert of your own health. And that's far more empowering than having to rely on any system that might be really, because the NHS is struggling, and we know this, and so it's about time we really kind of take our health into our own hands to some extent. Obviously not worrying ourselves with the amount of things that come up when you Google stuff, but just really consult with other experts that might well be in the private health sector. Be open-minded, challenge your beliefs, and give yourself opportunity to reflect so that you can have change. Thank you ever so much for listening. I hope that this is all recorded and gone well, and I really hope you got a lot from it. My name is Sarah Paine on Facebook, so if you want to find me, you can. But I hope this has been absolutely useful and informative, or if anything, has posed the right questions for you to find out more, and maybe just get you thinking about your holistic health. Okay, thank you.